Hello and welcome back to our study of Peninei Halacha, the teachings of Rabbi Eliezer Melamed Shlita. Well, we hope everyone had an enjoyable weekend, a restful Shabbos, as we get set to begin a new week of learning here in our format. Also, belated Happy Father's Day to those who observe. Wonderful day here in the diaspora. We ask you to please continue davening for Chaylei Tzvah Gana Yisrael, for Shlema Chol P'tzua Yisrael, safety of our brothers and sisters in Israel. We learn each day Le'ilei Nishmat Sarah and Daniel Shimon ben Harav Doron V'Shel Yishem Kam Demo. Next chapter, Basar V'Yayin B'Shabbos Chazon B'Seudat Mitzvah. B'Shabbos Chazon, Ochlim Basar V'Shosim Yayim Kechol Shabbosos Hashana. On Shabbos Chazon, which is the Shabbos in the 9 days immediately preceding Tisha B'Av, we eat meat, we drink wine like any other Shabbos of the year. Sha'arigam ka'asher Tisha B'Av atzmo chal b'Shabbos v'nicha eichev kach b'yom rishon. For even when Tisha B'Av falls on Shabbos itself, which it can, it's not observed on Shabbos, the fast day, it's only observed the next day on Sunday. In such an instance, nevertheless, ochlin ba'osa Shabbos basar v'shosam yayin umalan al shulchan afilu kasuda shlomo b'shato shein avelos b'Shabbos. Shulchan Aruch tells us that on that Shabbos, when it's actually on the calendar, the date is Tisha B'Av, we eat meat, we drink wine, and we can have a full Seudah. In the language of the Shulchan Aruch is Seudas Shlomo B'Shato, like a king's meal of King Solomon, because there is no morning observed on Shabbos. And when one is cooking for Shabbos during the 9 days on that Shabbos Chazon, so preparing for Shabbos, one is allowed to taste the dishes, even though they have meat in it. Meaning if you have to see if you have to add any flavor, any spices, etc. Oneg Shabbos, because when you taste the food, this is not to have any specific enjoyment, but it's rather for the mitzvah. You're preparing for the mitzvah of Oneg Shabbos. If one attends a Seudat Mitzvah, one is allowed to eat meat and drink wine. One has a bris, one has a pidyon ben, or one makes a siyum on a tractate of the Talmud. One can sing and one can dance as normally one would, but just without music. Some are careful and some are strict to restrict the number of people that you invite. And the principle should be that whoever wants to observe a Seudat Mitzvah or a Simcha of a Mitzvah, you would invite whomever you would invite if the Mitzvah or the Seudah took place any other time of year. If someone throughout the year normally benches on a kos of wine, on a cup of wine, however, I'm talking about on a weekday, then on the 9 days, one shouldn't use a cup of wine, even if you do so the whole year. Some have a custom of having a specific Seudah meal before, the night before a bris. This is not considered a Seudat Mitzvah. So if you make such a Seudah, you would not be able to have meat or drink wine. Simchas bar or bat mitzvah. If one has a bar or bat mitzvah that falls out during the 9 days, we don't celebrate it the way we do the rest of the year. Because we normally have a big hoo-ha, a lot of people, a lot of music, and this is not allowed during the 9 days. Therefore, it's proper to push off the big party, the big celebration, till after Tisha B'Av, and what we call the Bo Bayom, the day that the young man becomes bar mitzvah or she becomes bat mitzvah. You can have a fleishik meal, you can have meat and wine, however, with just a small amount of people. Just as a side note, I'm looking forward to it. Our son was born during the 9 days, so he's going to turn bar mitzvah during the 9 days in a little over 2 years, Eretz Hashem, and his bar mitzvah parsha most likely will be Shabbos Chazon. We'll see what happens as far as summer camp goes, but this is halacha l'maisa for us. When he was born, we were worried that maybe his bris was going to fall out on Tisha B'Av. It did not. It fell out the day after Tisha B'Av, so we dodged the bullet over there. But let's conclude this chapter. Katsu Acharonim write, She'ein l'sachnon ba'ofen miuchadis yumei mesechtes b'Tisha B'Av k'dei lahatro al yadam achilas basar shtias yaim. We mentioned that one is allowed to make a siyam meseches. If one makes a siyam and you have a meat meal and drink wine, one shouldn't plan the learning just so you could eat meat or drink wine. Because then what you're doing is you're sort of sidestepping and you are negating the mourning over the destruction of the Beis Hamikdash. Elarak Misha, he's only if one gets to that point of his learning, and he happens to be there, and it's the 9 days, and he finishes a Masechta, because then he normally makes a siyum at a meal like this. Then he can make a siyum with meat and wine during the 9 days. A rather long note here about different customs as it goes. You can imagine also the summer camp halachas as well. Kids have to eat meat, so we have a siyum at camp, all these types of things. But look at note 11 here, certainly worth perusing. But these are the basic ideas in terms of siyum Masechah Seudat Mitzvah during the 9 days. Now we are continuing our week here. We ask you to please continue for davening for Chayalei Tzvah and Yisrael, for Shalom Chol Yisrael. Say to your brothers and sisters in Israel, in Nishmat Daniel Shimon Arav, their own Shoshak Demo. Thank you so much for joining. Have a great day, and we'll see you here next time.